What is Carnage? The complete and total decimation of your LGS. You can accomplish this with Judith, Carnage Connoisseur. What it's going to do is going to make you the biggest enemy in your local metro area. So let's begin. Judith is a spellslinging commander. It does two things. It can give your instants and sorceries Death Touch and Lifelink, or let you create imp creatures. I'm picking Death Touch and Lifelink. The reason I'm picking the first mode is because I'm going to have a bunch of damage-based board wipes that cost 1 or 2 mana. That way my opponents won't get to play any magic, and I get to have all the fun, and I think you'll enjoy it just as much. So let's get into that board destruction. Now here's the spice. Cards like Barrage of Boulders, Blazing Volley, Electrickery, and Into Festivities are those board wipes that deal 1 damage, but when they have Death Touch, the board of your opponents goes bye-bye. However, we can't just rely on those little dinky board wipes because Judith will constantly get removed. We've got cards like Blasphemous Act, Chain Reaction, Mizium Mortars, and Star of Extinction to fill that void when we don't have our commander out. These cards become especially potent with Judith out because when they have lifelink, we're going to gain hundreds upon hundreds of life and will be unstoppable. Also, Earthquake is pretty awesome because it's a board wipe and it also deals direct damage to our opponents. We're still going to gain that awesome amount of life, but it brings me into my next point. We can burn out our opponents with this deck. The awesome thing with single target removal in this deck is it can remove about any creature when it has Death Touch. Cards like Chain Lightning, Fort Bolt, Shock, and Lightning Bolt are absolute all-stars when we're trying to burn out our opponents and remove threats. I'm over creature removal. How about player removal? Cards like Acidic Soil will knock out those green decks because they'll have 1,000,000 lands in play and take 1,000,000 damage, and we'll gain 1,000,000 life. It's an absolute win. Banefire is the perfect counter to those blue decks because it deals X damage to any target, but if it's 5 or more, it can't be countered and the damage can't be prevented. Blue is no match for burn. Sometimes we want to deal damage to all of our opponents at once. That's where cards like Breath of Malphegor come into play. It's going to deal 5 to each of our opponents, so we don't get accused of picking on our least favorite player. And you know who you are. A lot of people don't like you. To continue our player removal, cards like Electro Dominance, it's just an X spell, but it gives you the benefit of casting cards for free out of your hand. A little bonus. Flame Rift's another one of those cards that's going to deal damage to every player, including us, but we don't really care. We just want damage. When was the last time you saw a basic in a commander game? I don't even remember. Price of Progress certainly doesn't remember because it's going to burn out everybody. Spiteful Repossession is really going to punish those landfall players because they're going to get a ton of damage and we're going to get a ton of treasures so we can keep spell slinging. Now it's time to show some payoffs for our spell slinging strategy. Fiery Inscription is a harder to remove Gutter Snipe because every time we cast an instant or sorcery, it's going to deal 2 to each of our opponents to pile it on. But we still got to include the original Gutter Snipe. Papa didn't forget you, baby. You're still in my deck. Kessig Flame Breather is another one of those Gutter Snipe type effects, but it has an added benefit because when we play our mana rocks, they're still going to take damage. Stormkiln Artist is a must-have because it's going to give us treasures every time we spell sling, and it gets huge. It's a winner. We're going to be able to combo off, hopefully. Are there any combos in this deck? I have no clue, but we can figure it out together on our magical journey. Follow me. Sometimes we just want to win the game, and that's where Mystics' Mastery comes into play. We overload it, and we get to recast all the instants and sorceries we've already played the game. And if we can't win with that, we don't deserve to win at all. Can't you agree? Another way to fuel our spell slinging is Urbrask. He's going to deal damage and give us mana every time we cast an instant or sorcery. We can also exile it and transform it into its other side, which I don't know what it is because I didn't download the card and I don't care enough to do it right now. Sorry, folks. Our next piece of game-winning tech is Repercussion. Every time we deal damage to a creature, its controller takes that much damage. And we're going to do damage-based board wipes constantly, so we're going to win. Try to stop us. Come on. Aetherflux Reservoir is another one of those win conditions. We're going to do a lot of spell slinging. I don't think we can build it up in one turn, but we're going to be gaining life consistently throughout the game with our lifelink effects on our burn spells. We're just going to be able to one-shot somebody. Probably one-shot everybody. We've also got another win condition. Who would have thought? We're trying to win. Sanguine Bond. Whenever we gain life, target opponent loses that much life, and we'll be gaining a ton of life. And if you want to be an absolute savage, LVMTG approved, run Exquisite Blood as well for that infinite combo. Now for our last little morsel of tech, it's Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. Whenever we gain life, target opponent loses that much life, and we can give all of our creatures lifelink. Doesn't matter, I'm never making the imps. Don't make me try to. As you can see, Judith is going to make one heck of a commander. It's going to be very powerful, probably annoying, and your opponents will never want to play against that deck again. So you get to play it once, but you need to savor that moment because it'll be the best moment of your life. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.